We up now? Good morning.
Most of you know me as Richie Stroud, but I'd like to introduce other members of our ministry. I'm not going to ask them to stand up, but I will. I will share their names. John Plunkett, which he's not here anyway. Bill and Gretchen Holly, they're on vacation. Marna Gurrell, Betty Casey, Rich Verkler, and Pam Harvey. Another comment I'd like to make, of all the money that is taken from our offering, 20% goes to missions. So any given year, we can count on at least $40,000 going out. That could be snack pack, that could be food bank, could be Cambodia, lots of places. And I think we have 3 or 6 people that have actually been to Cambodia. The Plunketts, John and Faye, Paul and Marty Gurrell have been there. Rhonda and Kelly Nienheiser and their daughter have been there. I know they enjoyed the trip. Maybe not the, 18-hour airplane ride? Yeah. A lot of layover for that.
Yeah.
And to start out with, I know that Joe did not start in Cambodia.
That's
Joe
right.
started in India, I believe.
That's right.
And I'd like for him to share some differences, especially on the openness of the country to Christianity coming in. So if you would do that.
You mean talking about India or?
India first.
Oh, okay.
And then
all right.
The differences, and then how you come to here to be supported.
All right. Well, before I start, I just want to say how wonderful it always is to come to Creve Coeur and to come to CCCC here, and known some of you folks for a long time, and it's a real blessing. This morning's worship was amazing. I really miss having, worship in my own mother tongue, and I'm in Cambodia. I used to tune in sometimes to your online things. So it's been great, and our relationship, which started with the Secklers in Cambodia many years ago, I'm sure. And I was very honored to be able to carry that on through John Plunkett asking me if I would be your missionary to Cambodia in place of them. So my history a little bit is in around 1985. I was working at a little children's home in Pennsylvania, and I was out there working, transplanted from Woodstock. I grew up in Woodstock, up north, near Rockford, and then I went to Judson College in Elgin, and went out to the East Coast, Pennsylvania, to work at a Christian ministry out there. I had a chance to go on a short-term trip to India. It was supposed to be 6 weeks. It ended up to be about 4 months. And then I went back and spent another 6 months, and then I went back. I actually had to enroll in the university and did my master's and my PhD work in anthropology, just so I could stay there, basically.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see the correlation, I guess.
Well, the more you know about a culture, the more you know about how they receive the gospel. And so missionary anthropology is a big thing now. I mean, you could go, to Columbia University in South Carolina, and you probably major in that type of thing, missiology. And you're going to have lots of anthropology classes. So anyway, then after India, I basically came to a point where the the government had changed over there, and there was no more opportunity to go to get a visa to go there. And that was a kind of a dark time for me in 1996, 97. And then finally, 98, I heard about another Mission World team, which was right close to my church there in Pennsylvania. And in 99, I joined World Team, and they had openings in Cambodia. And so there was 5 of us that kind of got together and formed a team to go join Tom and Debbie Seckler over in Cambodia. So that was in 2000 that I got there. And after the Secklers came back home, then John Plunkett approached me and asked if I would continue to be their missionary there. So that's kind of the story in a nutshell, you know.
I guess I know that we supported an Indian couple, and we see and read about their stories of their freedoms being taken away.
Yeah.
Government clamping down,
Yeah.
quite restrictive.
Yeah. That's why I had to leave, actually, India, probably because the government changed.
And I know that Laos, were one of our other missions, they have similar problems where people, it's not uncommon to be jailed
Right.
for spreading the gospel.
Right. Now Cambodia is in Southeast Asia, so we're surrounded by Vietnam on the east, Thailand on the west, and then Laos on the north. Okay, so all those countries, Vietnam and Laos are both communists, and so they're closed. And like you said, there's only creative ways you can use to get in there and, you know, to minister and undercover. Thailand, the people are very resistant to the gospel. They have their Buddhism. So mostly in all that whole area is Buddhism. But then Cambodia is, you know, they went through all those horrors in the war, during the Vietnam War. And then after that, during the Pol Pot time, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the Killing Fields movie. I mean, it's hard to watch, but if you want to know about the history of what happened, the genocide that happened in Cambodia, you should watch that movie. Yeah. And it was terrible, but then during the 80s, Vietnam came in, took over, and of course it was communist during that time. And then in the 90s, the UN came in, and you know, most of the Christians had fled or were killed during the Pol Pot time. So, but you know, they opened it up to allow missionaries. Now today, Cambodia is like an island of freedom of religion in the midst of all these closed countries. So we have seen a tremendous growth, an explosion of growth in the church there because of that. But yeah, basically, we're just thankful for this open window that we've had for the last 25 years of being, you know, not having any government interference or restrictions. And so we don't know how long that will last, but we're thankful for that. Yeah.
So how have things changed in the last several years of your ministry?
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, we went over there in 2000. I'd like to show you just a picture of where I live so you can get an idea. Let's see if I can pull that up. So this is I rented over there for 18 years up in Previhia province, up in the north. I'll show you a map of that in a minute here. But yeah, this is the house that I built. I had a little piece of land, and I took some of my retirement and stuff that my parents had left me, and I built this little house. And so I call it the secret place. Secret place, Previhia. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. So that's my kind of my life verse now. Just want to open that up for other people to, when they need a rest, when they need a little rest for their soul or a little break or a little spiritual retreat, they can come up. I'll give them a room and leave them alone if they want, or I'll cook them some spaghetti and we'll hang out and drink coffee. And this is how it is. Looks like, if I can get this thing to work here. I don't know. There we go. And that's how it looks now with some trees and stuff. And here's my view out the back. So imagine yourself sitting there drinking a cup of coffee in the morning with the birds chirping and looking out on that. It's a peaceful place. It's quiet. So I really enjoy it there. This thing isn't working too good. Anyway, so you asked me about how things changed. In the beginning, in 2003, we moved up to Prairie Bahia province up in the north. And we just did some Bible studies. And after that, we found a few believers. And then some other people became believers, and we formed these Bible studies. The first baptism was there in 2004. And we formed a little church. This was a firm foundations class where the students, where the young people were learning, just who is God and what are his characteristics, and going all the way through the Bible in 67 lessons. So we did that for a couple of years, and a little finicky, and then the church was growing, and it grew, and we started reaching out. We did some different things, but we didn't know what we were really was going to work there. We kind of just thought, well, we have some tools in our tool bag, and we're able to go up there and do Bible studies, and planted a church, and began discipling, and we began to train the leaders and believers, and but things were a little bit slow, but we just kept at it, and okay. Anyway, that is, I don't know how well you can see that, but that is where Phnom Penh, and the green star is Phnom Penh. And the yellow star up north is Prairie Bahia province. That's where we are. Very undeveloped. It was very remote. The first time Tom Seckler took us up there, it was in the back of a four-wheel drive truck. It took us 13 hours to go 200 miles. So the roads were pretty bad. It was very remote. There's a lot of landmines up there. And so we began to target that province. And so, but like I said, we didn't really know what we were doing, but this is kind of an outline of our ministry up there now. So we started out with just Bible studies. Now we've inherited a high school dorm, and we have 36 students in the high school dorm where they go out to high school. I'll talk about that later a little bit. We have a ministry learning center where we have a building, and we do lots of ministry there. And we have internship program. We've kind of took ourselves out of the church in terms of having any influence, because we figure, that was like 10 years ago, because we figured, hey, they're spiritually mature. They have the Holy Spirit. They can do anything that, they don't have to have us doing anything. And so we have a lot of different programs under those things. So we're really got a lot going on right now, and we're seeing a lot of fruit right now. So,
and your discipleship apparently just starting from grassroots. It definitely worked, even though you're not knowing what you were going to use.
No, that's right. We didn't know what we were going to use in the beginning. Like you said, we started with some goats and some cows because it was an agricultural province, and we did some sugarcane fields and something to raise the money in order for the church to expand and grow. It was about 8 years ago that this Australian Lutheran group approached us and asked us to take over their existing ministry. It was called the Pla Prai. That means transformation. Okay, so we kind of hedged for a while. We thought we were a bit busy and we weren't able to take that over. But then they said, well, if you don't take it over, we're just going to close it down. So we said, no, don't do that. We took it over. So they just gave us full reign of the property and everything. And this is the Pla Prai dorm property, the front there. And 30, like I said, 36 students. There's about 18 boys, 18 girls. And discipleship is our main focus. So we have a lot of stuff going on there. Let's see.
Yeah, I know that some years back, we sent money for some, I don't know if it was girl students or both, I'm not sure, to be able to go to high school.
Right. See, the thing is, when they gave it to us, this Australian group, it was all girls. And then we were happy with that. We had this, we kind of changed over from just focusing on education to a spiritual input. You know, we're really helping to guide them spiritually as well. Well, so now we have 18 boys and 18 girls. We figured those girls are going to need Christian husbands, you know. So
Obviously.
So anyway, we've got some. We do mentoring, and each of those students has a mentor. And so, like Chelsea has 2 or 3, and I have 4 actually. And then the Cambodians themselves, the leaders, they're the ones who have the most. They're the ones who have become the mentors and disciplers of these students now. So here's just some pictures. We send people to YWAM. I don't know if folks know what YWAM is, Youth with a Mission.
Exactly.
And every year we're sending from between 3 to 6 students to YWAM to get trained, and then a lot of those have come back to work with us now. So we have 8 former Plopri students who went through some YWAM training, and now they're coming back to work with us full-time in ministry.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can get any more of these things here. Okay. Now, Richie, I might want to just kind of take you through the Bible college that we have real quick, so that you can get a handle on it. That's called the Prebahia School of Applied Ministry. And we have about 8 students this past year that they just finished in January. They went 2 years, and then after the 2 years, they've gone through the whole Bible. It's not where they come and stay all the time. They come in for a week, every 3 months, because they're farmers. They're church leaders and pastors of little churches out, the house churches out in the really remote areas. And they come in once every 3 months for a week, an intense week of study. And after that, they go back, and then we go visit them. And everything that we teach them is to be applied like right away. It's not just here. I mean, actually, some of them don't even read and write that well, but it's very oral. So we use a lot of stories. We use a lot of pictures. We had them build a tabernacle one time, like kind of hands-on stuff, so that they remember. So this is under our Ministry Learning Center building. We have cleared that place and adapted it so that we can have our Bible school there with a big blackboard. And
Yeah, we know that if the natives themselves reach out, works way better than you try to do it.
you nailed it there, Richie. They can do a much better job of evangelizing their own people than we do. You know, we have the handicap of being these whiteys that come in from America. You know, they're thinking like, here comes our saviors, here come the heroes. No, it's like we stay in the background now, and we let them go out. We're training them for them to go out, because when we go, they could have a lot of other motives. I want to learn English. I want to sponsor. I like to know a foreigner. So we kind of stay in the background and let them carry the ball.
So what are some of the things you're doing that you're most excited about currently?
Well, these 2 ministries that I've just talked about, I'm most excited about the disciples, because they are learning to disciple others. See, that's the thing. Here in America, this is what we have to learn too, that we need to be disciplers. Jesus told us, He didn't say go out and plant churches even. He didn't say go out and evangelize even. He said go and make disciples. That's the main thing. So that's what I'm most excited about, is that our disciples are beginning to reproduce and multiply. These 8 students that were in our graduating class of our Bible school this year have gone back to their places, and they are fired up, going out to remote little villages that sometimes you can't even get to in the rainy season because they're flooded. The river is flooded, there's no road. But they get out there and they're building, they're making disciples, they're starting new little churches. And, before they were like saying, we don't have any help, we don't have any encouragement, we're intimidated, we get persecuted. And now they have this confidence because after learning, hey, Paul, when we get to Acts and then we get to Paul's journeys and how he got stoned and how he was driven out of cities and all these things, they said, well, if he suffered that, I think we can put our hand to the plow and keep going. So I think that's basically, here's our graduating class. So that's what I'm excited about. And our Plot Prize students are also let's see what we got here. Well, we got an internship program. That's kind of exciting. We brought in 3 of our former students who went through YWAM, and they're now interns. They're not working with our Plot Prize dorm, but they're out in the community. And I just got a video, like yesterday, they had a meeting with children in a village, and there was like probably 50 children that came out to hear the gospel.
Wow.
And so they're out there. They're out there doing their own thing, and sometimes we don't even know all the things they're doing, like we hear about it later. So this is the side of my house, and we had a get-together for the interns. So they go out to villages, and it's really exciting to hear their reports when they come back. And, this is what I was talking about. Matthew, it's 28, not 29. 28, 19 to 20. We know the verse. You've heard it so many times. It's make disciples. Yeah, so we're excited about these 3 ministries mainly, and just about, this making disciples.
What are things that we can do to be a part of this? Obviously, we send money to you to help. What else are things that we could do? We know that I spoke of 7 people that actually came over there. Which is a bit of a job to take.
Right.
Just to get on the airplane.
Well, I'd be tickled pink to be able to have all you folks come over and visit, stay at the secret place over there and see our ministry firsthand. It's one thing to read the newsletter, and that's great. I think that's one way you can stay in touch. I don't care if it's Cambodia or wherever you have missionaries. Make it a point to really learn what's going on. Richie, you've been great. I mean, you come with me to me, when I came in, and you knew what was going on. You knew the ministries. You knew what was happening, and that's what It's easy to send the check, and we couldn't be there without your financial support and the prayer support, but to be in touch and to keep it in front of people, and to send a group over once in a while to see what's going on personally. Now that Tom and Debbie aren't there, maybe you're thinking, oh well, Tom and Debbie aren't there, but come on over and have some folks come over, and maybe you could say, hey, we'll come over and help on a VBS or something like that. You don't have to have this great big huge plan or program. You could just have a few people come over and get firsthand, view of what's going on in Cambodia. So I'll tell you, it's exciting. That's what I was going to say. Paul wrote to Timothy, he said, the things that you've heard from me, you, in the presence of many witnesses, you empower other people. You pass those on to your disciples, who will in turn pass them on to other disciples. Disciples, that's the thing. This is our team in 2018 up in Previa. Okay, so that's Jim and Carolyn Gabriels and their 3 kids and myself. And this is our team, if I can get it. Now, what do you think is the difference there? I mean, you can't really see that little picture there. Anyone could tell me what's the difference there?
Fewer white faces.
Yeah, we have our team is Cambodians. Our team is like 10 Cambodians who are now our team. And they're the ones who really drive the ministry now. So what Grief Corps can do is to, continue doing what you're doing, pray, you can support, but you can keep it in front of people. You can get those prayer requests out there. If anybody isn't on my list, to my distribution list in order to get the update that I send an update out about every 2 months or so. And on that update, there's just a whole list of prayer requests, and then there's a whole page of photos, just in case you're not on Facebook, that you can't look at my photos or whatever. But I put them all out, the important photos up there. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words at least. If you can't get over there and see it, you can see the photos and the descriptions.
Yeah, I know. Excuse me, pretty exciting. I've been out of the country to Mexico, but not 18, 20 hours.
Right. Well, it is, I've done that trip so many times now, I don't look forward to sitting on a plane for 16 hours at a time, but
it's, when I shared my stories from Mexico, Appalachia, a couple of times to South Dakota, and I still remember those times.
Yeah, you'll never forget. I'll tell you, when you go overseas and you go to these places and you see the people that you're hearing about and you're supporting, you'll never be the same. I think, I've seen people come to Cambodia. Some people came to Cambodia and on a short-term trip, and now they're working for us over there. They're working with us. They brought their kids over, and they've been there for about 8 years now. So it's great. I mean, not saying that everybody has to go. We've all been called. We don't have to wait around for a call. I mean, some people say, well, I haven't been called. I said, what do you mean you haven't been called? It's like you've been commissioned. You've been commanded already. We're all missionaries. You're a missionary to the folks at Walmart or Walgreens. You're a missionary to your family, to your kids. You're a discipler. You have disciples. Your kids are your disciples if you have kids. So to me, you don't have to go over there. You could be a missionary right here. In fact, you look in the mirror and say, that's a missionary.
I know when I read Joe Stewart newsletter, it's like being there. When I hear about them being put in prison, it's like, wasn't it in the Bible somewhere where people were put in prison?
Oh, I think so.
And it's in 2023, and they lock them up, and sometimes they never know what happened to them.
Right, like in China, Laos, that happens. Well, we're so glad God has protected us, but I just really feel like we have an open window. We have some time. We don't know when the Lord's going to come back. We don't know when the doors will shut, but we're just glad for the freedom that we do have in Cambodia these days.
Do we have any questions? I think we have time for some questions if somebody has something that struck them about any of our conversations.
Yes?
How many languages do you speak?
Oh, for myself? Well, I speak Kannada, which is an Indian language, because I was there for 10 years and I learned Kannada. And then I speak Khmer, which you would probably recognize as Khmer.
Khmer.
No, we say Khmer there. And then I kind of stumble around in English a bit too, so, so I guess, Yeah, oh, and you get a prize. I don't have a prize runner. I was going to use some of the kids to be a prize runner, but you get a prize.
Rhonda has her hand.
What is the most interesting experience you have had?
Most interesting experience? You talking about Cambodia?
Yes.
Every day's an adventure over there. Interesting. I don't know that I can recount any one. It's just, sometimes driving in Cambodia, we're taking our Plop students down to the seashore or whatever, and you're driving along, and suddenly a herd of cows runs across the road, and you gotta be ready for that. Or you're driving at night, and some guy has his tractor pulling a trailer with no lights on it at all, and it's pitch black, and you come up on him in your truck. I don't know. Driving is an adventure. Just seeing the kids' eyes light up when they see the ocean for the first time. That's just, it's just like priceless to see them, and just to see the kids, the young people, when they understand and they come to you and they say, now I understand, now I know who created all this, and I want to follow Jesus. That's the most exciting thing of all, So anyway, you get a prize. I don't have a prize runner, so I don't know if I should be running up and down the aisles here, but what would you say? A, B, C, or D?
C.
C. Okay. Oh, we got a prize runner. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, Pam, right?
Just kind of, can you give us an idea of what your day is like throughout the day? Do you still have an opportunity to interact, like, with the children, or are you more administrative now? There's so much going on.
Oh, God forbid I would ever get to be administrative. Although we have to do a lot of that stuff. I mean, we're looking for a new field director right now, and we're trying to recruit somebody to do that job. And they said, would you do that? I said, no. No, because I like to be hands-on. I want to be behind the scenes and hands-on. No, my day is, I get up and I have my coffee. I turn on some worship music around 6 o'clock. Have my coffee, and around 7:30, things start happening. So I go out to the Plop dorm. Sometimes I have construction stuff to oversee. I'm the official contractor supervisor. So
You're the one-man building committee.
yeah, the building committee. So I go over there, and a lot of times we have like meetings or programs over there with the young people or with the staff, and we go and have staff prayer meetings, Friday evening worship with the Plop students. Saturday evening, we have what we call family night, where they can invite their friends from school, and they have a big special program for their friends to be able to hear the gospel. Sunday, they have, I kind of go to their Sunday school classes that they do. All the students are involved in outreach. So we have 6 communities, little villages, where they go to take teams to teach Sunday school on Sunday mornings. And so they have this children's ministry. I do a lot of, obviously, emailing and emails and stuff like that, and then team meetings. And just always, the longer you've been there, the more your network sort of expands, your web of relationships. So I've always got folks who are popping in, stopping by. Sometimes I have a sick dog to take care of, or go help somebody with with building their fence. So you're working alongside people, just having discipleship times, so.
I guess.
Yeah, we need a prize runner. A, B, C, A, B, D, or E. Oh, Pam, you lucked out. You get a Plop mug. It's in Khmer. It says Plop.
So I can look at that view when I'm drinking it.
Yeah, in your mind. Yeah.
And
Okay.
once you get the newsletters, if you sign up in the back there, you'll see exactly it's almost like you're there. The more you get, the more you get. And I know Pam Harvey tells me a lot of times I'm not on the email list as of yet, but I will be. And she tells me what's going on with him.
Oh, okay.
When he's coming, before
Yeah.
I know it.
Wow.
That's only
Well,
because
I don't know how that happened there.
because of the newsletter.
That's right.
So we can all, simple thing, just sign it.
Well, I try to make it, put some stories in there so that you can remember it, you know, over here.
How long did it take you to get used to the diversity of cuisine over here in the States?
Oh, when I came back?
No, when you went over?
Oh. Well,
You mean the first time when he went?
No, how long did it get used when he got there?
yeah, back in 2000. I had been in India, so, I mean, I'd already been in an Asian country for 10 years. So